Okay, we're gonna try this again. I'm Captain Onyx Mason, guys, and basically I'm going to do my little summary I told you guys about when I got the horror issue of Game Informer magazine. And this is all Call of Duty related again, because the Predator field order and the Michael Myers field order. So I'm going to go in chronological order from when this happened. So we're going to start with the original Halloween. So first takes place in like 1963, October 31st, Haddonfield, Illinois, where he made his first kill and basically screwed him up the first time. Basically he killed his sister after having sex in the living room, then going upstairs to her room and killed her while she was buck naked, stabbing her in the chest. Basically because he's some demented sick kid, and he basically went out and got first weapon, his favorite weapon, the famous old kitchen butcher knife weapon he likes to use so much. And he's wearing a clown suit, if that wasn't scary enough for you. I know, because a lot of people now are like afraid of clowns, what with them in those horror movies nowadays. But so he steps out of the house, like basically walking through the front door. His parents show up. He's like, "What are you doing? What did you do?" And they found out, oh, "You killed our daughter. Why?" So he gets sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium, and then and that was the whole flashback part. Now, it's 15 years later, it's October 30th, 1978, which is when the movie, like, the year the movie filmed. Basically, his doctor, Dr. Loomis, is driving alongside with this nurse who's driving the car, who's about ready to take him to court to face his crimes that he committed when he killed his older sister. But when they got to the sanitarium, all the people were out of their cells and like wandering the courtyard, which isn't normal. So then all of a sudden he goes to investigate. All of a sudden Michael Myers, still in his like asylum clothes, just jumps on the car and tries to get her, to get the driver. She's like, "Ah, no, don't touch me. This is rape. This is rape. Rape, I say." And basically, does everything what a cliched thing would do. They drive their car so fast, then immediately pull the brakes, cause them to go flying. But again, this is Michael Myers. He can't die. She gets out. He steals the car. Where does he go? Haddonfield. Now, Haddonfield is not a real place, by the way. A lot of people have checked, and it doesn't really exist. But now, we focus on Laurie Strode, who is played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who did a lot of the Activia commercials back then, but for some reason doesn't do it anymore, and it was also in the Disney movie Freaky Friday along with like Lindsay Lohan and stuff. But what happens is that she's like going to do some, like, help out her father, who's like a retailer, sells like certain things to people. And what happened was that they're selling houses, and they go to the old Myers house where this whole shit went. And runs into the kid she's got to babysit later on, and she's like, "Hey man, you shouldn't," he's like, "Hey, you shouldn't go up there, that's the boogeyman's house." He's like, "There is no boogeyman," but as she like puts the key down in the like mail slot, all of a sudden we see him go like this, like, basically he's like, "Down, down, down," and they have that creepy like 70s music of him basically staring right at her, which, conveniently enough, she's too blind to see. Now, I'm not blaming the actor, I'm just like, wow, I mean, I know this is a horror movie, but come on, you don't need to be that stupid, do you? So yeah, we see her going to that, and then, what's it got? We go back to the sanitarium where the doctor got pretty pissed off at the guy who owned the sanitarium, saying, "Dude," or not the owner, the hospital administrator. He's like, "Dude, why did you have such tight-ass security around this guy?" He's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know going to be such a problem. He was doing it very well last night. He's like, well, dude, this kid hasn't talked in like for years. Anything he'd do would be considered well. So then the doctor, who used to be his doctor, he's like, well, I know where he's going. Let's go to Haddonfield. We eventually like go to like the elementary school and the place, and the kid who was like warning Lori about the whole boogie house is like carrying a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin that he plans to use for jack-o'-lanterns. And of course, stereotype bullies in any horror movie just come up and antagonize the kid. He's like, well, hey, aren't you a little old for doing that shit? He's like, well, but you're probably like 4 or 5 trapped in like a 10-year-old body. He's like, go away. So, and then they say, oh, the boogeyman's gonna get you. You can't avoid it. He's like, no, I don't want him to get me. So he runs off and drops the damn pumpkin, and guess who shows up? Michael Myers. And yeah, it's not looking good. So basically, he, like, let's just say, this is the kid's shoulders. He goes like this. And it freaks the kid, one of the bullies out. He's like, runs off. He's like, well, now you know who the real boogeyman is. That's that guy right there you just ran into. So now we go back, like 73 miles outside of Haddonfield, over by one of those road signs. And Dr. Loomis needs to pull off and make a phone call to warn the sheriff department, the sheriff of the police department in Haddonfield, saying, hey, there's this deluded man trying to come and kill people. You should be advised. He's like, trust me, I've had weirder shit happen here. It's like, I'm not even gonna bother. He's like, well, no, that's not what's gonna happen, doof. And so then we go back to, and basically there's like a truck with all his hospital rags and stuff. And this is basically the origin story as to how he got that mechanic suit. He basically killed a dead mechanic, and that in the scene we show like a dead mechanic lying on the ground like this. He's like, bleh. But so the next scene, we go back to like again back to like a high school. Lori is going to meet her friends Linda Vanderclock. I feel like that's a pun. And Annie Brackett. And Linda is complaining about all the new cheers she has to do because, you know, she's a cheerleader and, you know, white girl problems, but I'm just kidding. I'm not racist, by the way. And Lori stops for a moment, like, you know, in the middle of the street, and she's like, this is not exactly what she said, but she's like, ah, shit, I forgot my chemistry book. And everybody's like, well, you don't need to do it. You're, like, smart enough already. But, then all of a sudden, frickin', like, Michael Myers is driving down the street real fast, and then Annie's, like, pissed him off in some ways. He's like, watch how fast you're driving, jerk. You could kill somebody. He just basically screeches the tires, like, and then they're like, yeah, no, he's like, he's like, suppressing all the anger. I must not give myself away. He's like, and just drives off. He's like, huh. And then later on, they're walking some more. They run in. Ah, God damn it. Hey, I'm gonna have to pause this, guys. This will be part 1. Part 2 will be in the rest.